Hello grade 4 students, how are you doing? This is the science exam review worksheet solution video. I will be reading all of the questions and answering them. I will start with question number 1, talking about sunflowers. Sunflowers are actually made of hundreds of small flowers. The dark center is made up of disc flowers. The male stamen and the female pistil are both present in these flowers. The stamen is composed of filament and pollen-producing anthers. The pistil houses the stigma, which receives the pollen, and the style, which allows it to travel down to the ovary, where the ovules are located. This is the process of pollination that enables the flowers to produce seeds. Question number part A. Are sunflowers perfect or imperfect flowers? They said in the text that the male stamen and the female pistil are both present in disc flowers. This means that sunflowers are perfect flowers since both the male and the female parts are present in the flower. Each time I ask you to specify, you have to tell why. So sunflowers are perfect flowers since both the male stamen and the female pistil, the male organ and the female organ, are present in the flowers. When both parts are present in the flowers, we say that these are perfect flowers. When a flower shows the male stamen only or the female pistil only, we say that these are imperfect flowers. What do we call the male reproductive organ? It's the stamen. The female reproductive organ is the pistil or the carpel. The male is the stamen. The pistil or the carpel is the female, the girl. What do we call the flower's part that produces pollen grain? Pollen producing anthers. So anthers, the head of the stamen, the head of the male part, produces pollen. So here is the anther. The anther is the part of the flower that produces pollen. What do we call the flower's part that is made of the stigma, style, and ovary? Stigma, style, and ovary. It's the pistil that houses these three parts. So here we have the pistil, or we can also call it a carpel. The carpel, the girl, or the pistil, is made of the stigma, three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. The process of transferring pollen from the anther to the stigma. Pollen grains are moved from the anther to the stigma of the girl. This process is called pollination. Pollination is when pollen grains move from the male anther to the female stigma. Question number 2. Lobsters have no backbone. They have no backbone. So are they vertebrates or invertebrates? Are lobsters vertebrates or invertebrates? Lobsters are invertebrates. That's right. Each time I ask you to determine something, don't forget to tell why. Lobsters are invertebrates because they don't have a backbone. It's the text who told us this, that lobsters have no backbone. Lobsters have no backbone, so they are invertebrates. They have a special outer shell to keep their inside body parts from being crushed. This hard outer shell is called an exoskeleton. Spiders and cockroaches have exoskeletons too. So what protects a lobster's body from being crushed? Lobsters are animals with an outer shell called exoskeleton. This shell protects the lobsters from being crushed. Who told us so? It's text. This answer is found in the text. Lobsters have an outer shell called exoskeleton to protect them from being crushed. Question number 3, we're talking about conifers. Let's see. Are the following statements true or false? Don't forget, we have to correct the false statements. Conifers grow needle leaves. This is true. This kind of trees grow needle leaves, leaves that look like needles, as you can see in the pic right here. Pollen cones are larger than seed cones. Let me start with part C to explain what. Pollen cones produce pollen grains. This is true. The job of the male cones, the job of the pollen cones, here are the male cone, the pollen cone. Their job, as you can see, they have a small size. Their job is to produce pollen grain. This is true. Okay. What about seed cones? Look at the seed cones. Seed cones must hold the seeds inside, the baby plants inside. So they need to be larger and bigger than the male cone. This is a female cone. These are many pollen cones. As you can see, the female cone is bigger than the male cone. The female cone holds the seeds inside, and the pollen cone's job is to produce pollen only. So this is false. Seed cones are larger than pollen cones because seed cones will hold the baby seeds inside, so they need to be larger, bigger. Conifers grow seeds in their flowers. What do you think? This is also false. Conifers are flowerless plants. Conifers are flowerless plants. They do not grow flowers. They grow seeds in their cones. And to be more precise, they grow seeds in their seed cones. Conifers are flowerless plants. They do not grow flowers at all, but they grow cones, two types of cones. Conifers, flowering plants, and mosses are seed plants. Conifers grow seeds in their cones. Flowering plants grow seeds in their flowers. Mosses are non-seed plants. Mosses reproduce by making spores. So this one is wrong too. Conifers and flowering plants only are seed plants. Mosses are non-seed plants. Question number 4. This figure represents the orange vegetable mushroom. Indicate the group of living things that this mushroom belongs to. Is it a plant? Is it an animal? What do you think? The orange bush quality mushroom belongs to the fungi group. Fungi are not animals. Fungi are not plants. Fungi are fungi. What's the way this mushroom used to reproduce? How does this mushroom make other mushrooms, others of its kind? Mushrooms reproduce by making spores. That's right. This mushroom makes spores. Mosses, ferns, and fungi reproduce by making spores. The only difference between mosses, ferns, and fungi is that mosses and ferns are plants, fungi are fungi, they are not plants. Last question, question number 5. Guppies live in warm ponds. They have large fan-like tail fin. Look at their tail fin, it's like a fan. Male guppies are smaller and more colored than females. Females, the girls, do not release eggs into the water. Instead, they give birth to baby fish. So this is an exception of fish. Guppies live in groups. They feed on insect larvae and algae. Adult guppies also eat baby guppies. So, which group of vertebrates do guppies belong to? There are 5 groups of vertebrates: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Guppies belong to the fish group. Why? Don't forget, each time I ask you to determine, you have to tell why. Because they live in water and they swim using their fins. Didn't they say that they have fins? They have fins, so they are fish. Guppies are fish because they live in water and they use their fins to move. Specify. Are they oviparous animals? Look. Guppies are exceptions of fish. All fish reproduce by laying eggs. Guppies do not. They're saying this in the text. Oviparous animals lay eggs, but guppies don't. Guppies are not oviparous animals. Don't forget to tell why. Because they don't release eggs. Look, females do not release egg. They don't release egg. They give birth to baby guppies. So they are not oviparous because they give birth and they do not lay eggs. What guppy fish feeds on? They feed on insect larvae and algae. Big guppies eat baby guppies. They eat them themselves. They feed on insects, on algae, small plants, on other guppies. Let's annotate this diagram. What is this? This is a fin. This is also a fin. And this is the tail fin of the fish, looking like a fan. And that's it. We're done. Good luck in your exams.